NRP.com, NRP Radio as well, and Facebook Live. So stay with us as we bring the news to you right here on this station. It's going to be an extended version this evening, so we invite you to stick and stay as we make our way into the news and the newsroom and with our presenters this evening right here on this station. We appreciate your company and we're always looking forward to seeing you. All right. So let's go with our news this evening right here on NRP Radio.
Good evening and welcome to our platforms, nrpmediaja.com, also Facebook and YouTube at nrpmediaja. It's Thursday, February 1, 2024. I am Lou Ann Bramwell Shakes.
And I am Leon Nash.
In studio we have
Leon Nash. This is the NRP Extended Evening News Roundup for today.
Here are the headlines. Jamaicans go to the polls on February 26 for the staging of the long-awaited local government elections.
The PNP expresses confidence of winning with the party ahead in the polls.
House of Representatives approves the fourth supplementary estimates for the fiscal year 2023-2024.
Commuters who use a smart card to pay their fares on the state-owned Jamaican Urban Transit Company, JUTC buses, will benefit from a 50% reduction in fares effective April 1.
Police constable dies after being hit while on duty on the north-south highway in St. Anne.
And in sports, up to £5 million of extra yearly funding to be pumped into women's cricket as part of an overhaul of the domestic game.
The news today is brought to you courtesy of NRP Radio. Reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
NRP Media and Radio.
The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
This speculation is now over. The date for the holding of the long-awaited local government elections is now known. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie made the announcement at the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James today. He was addressing constituency chairpersons, members of parliament, JLP-affiliated councillors, and councillor candidates vying for a seat in the 14th Parish Municipal Corporation island-wide. The meeting was called amid speculations that the governing JLP would announce the date for the local government polls due this month, but which was postponed at least before.
Nomination day is February the 8th, and the day we continue with the Jamaica Labour Party in control is February the 26th, is election day.
Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie and the local government minister reminded those seeking the votes of the public they should see themselves first as public servants deserving the respect and support of the people's vote.
With humility, knowing that the power to choose their local representatives is vested in them. We of the Jamaica Labour Party is confident that the majority of Jamaicans will continue to believe in the policies and the programs of this great Jamaica Labour Party. We in the Jamaica Labour Party, by far, have the strongest record of performance and service to the Jamaican people.
Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie.
Meanwhile, speaking after the announcement, the chairman of the JLP, Robert Bobby Montague, declared that he too is confident that on election day, the JLP will win the majority of the municipalities, including the Portmore municipality.
And I am confident that in the 228 divisions and the mayoralty of Portmore, the people will say Labour, 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 Labour. When you compare our slate of candidates to any other slate of candidates, we are the only choice, the best choice. There's no alternative. We are Jamaica's best.
That was chairman of the JLP, Robert Bobby Montague.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who gave the charge to the party members, reminded them to ensure that they involve and communicate their plans to the electorate so that they can appreciate the work that they're doing and be able to make the right decision on election day. He says failure to do so will result in voters voting on what they feel rather than what they know.
As councillors and councillor caretakers, MPs and MP caretakers and people who represent, you would not have helped the situation if you didn't bring them to the contextual understanding of the problem. Because if you allow them just to vote on emotion, they will vote in a random way. And that is always a threat to democracy, the randomization of voting choice. To get over this randomization of voting, you have to have consistent and constant information flow about your plans, your successes, your achievements, and all that you're going to do to address the problem. And you must be respectful of the voters' feelings.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
Meanwhile, the People's National Party says all its affiliates are fully mobilized and energized to contest the upcoming local government elections. General Secretary of the PNP, Dr. Dayton Campbell, speaking in an interview with NRP News, said the party is happy that good sense prevailed on the Prime Minister not to extend the time for calling the elections, like it was done twice before.
We are happy that the Prime Minister decided not to postpone the election again. We have been working hard in the field. We will continue to do so to press fresh with our supporters, and we will soon be releasing our policy positions to the people of Jamaica so they will know what we will do when we win the majority of the councils and send a signal that we are ready for the general elections.
And Dr. Campbell had a word for the member National Party as well.
I say to my supporters, oh my comrades, see the signal waving in the sky. Reinforcement now appearing. Victory is nigh. I want them to go out there and campaign in a friendly manner and to ensure that we bring back the love in this country. We want to reclaim Jamaica for the people and give back the power to the people.
That was General Secretary of the People's National Party, Dr. Dayton Campbell.
In other news, the House of Representatives yesterday approved the fourth supplementary estimates for the fiscal year 2023-2024, which reflects total government expenditure of $1.092 trillion. The estimate proposes a total expenditure of approximately $1.092 trillion, a reduction of $2.5 billion on the approved budget, following the submission and approval of the third supplementary estimate in September 2023. In his address, Minister of Finance and Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, informed that the supplementary estimates seek to redirect resources from activities that will not utilize the current allocations to activities that are able to absorb these resources during the rest of the fiscal year. The fiscal year ends on March 31. According to Dr. Clark, the main area of reduction is on the capital side of the budget, with a net reduction of $7.4 billion. He also said that non-debt recurrent expenditure will increase by $1.9 billion and debt service of $3 billion. The Jamaica Public Body's third supplementary estimates of expenditure and revenue for financial year 2023-2024 was also approved. Both documents were referred to the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee of the House of Representatives for consideration. The reports were adopted by the House, and the Standing Finance Committee also reviewed the documents.
In other news, the Sugar Company of Jamaica Holdings has been tasked with accelerating the pace of reallocating lands formerly used for sugarcane cultivation into alternative agricultural endeavors. Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green, made the announcement during a press briefing at the ministry's office in Kingston yesterday. According to Minister Green, about 65,000 acres that were former sugarlands have been put into agriculture across different dispensations with cash crops, animal rearing, orchards, or other initiatives. Mr. Green informed that during 2023, an additional 2,500 acres were put into different activities. And Mr. Green advised that a castor oil project is expected to be launched this year, in addition to transitioning from sugar in some areas into new areas which are in significant demand.
Beginning April 1, commuters who use a smarter card to pay their fares on the state-owned Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC buses, will benefit from a 50% reduction in fares. Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport, Darrell Bass, made the disclosure in the House of Representatives this week. He said that a cabinet note is being prepared for the use of a completely cashless system for the proposed reduction in bus fares effective April 1, 2024. In addition to the reduced rates, commuters will also receive the added benefit of 3 free rides, which will apply to both the new and existing card holders. Mr. Vaz says the use of smarter cards will ultimately aid efficiency and security on the buses. Effective January 1, there was a reduction in the regular fare on JUTC buses from $100 to $70, with fare for children moving from $30 to $25 and for pensioners from $40 to $30. As of April 1, 2024, the minister announced that there will be a further lowering of the regular fare from $70 to $50 and from $25 to $20 for children, while the fare for pensioners will be reduced from $30 to $25. Some 60,000 JUTC passengers in the Kingston metropolitan region are expected to benefit from the temporary reduction in the bus fares.
The Police High Command has expressed sadness for the death of Constable Rushane Lee, who died as a result of injuries he sustained in a motor vehicle collision on the North-South Highway in St. Anne on Wednesday. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, in a release, also expressed condolences to the family, friends, and colleagues of Constable Lee, who was assigned to the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch. Constable Lee was hit by a motor vehicle whilst conducting a vehicular checkpoint operations in the Unity Valley area of the highway at about 11:10 p.m. He succumbed to his injuries whilst being treated at hospital today. The force's chaplaincy branch and welfare department have commenced the provision of support to the family members, friends, and colleagues of Constable Lee.
Finally, detectives assigned to the Trelawney Criminal Investigations Branch are investigating 2 separate stabbing murders in the parish capital yesterday. The Falmouth police reported that the first case occurred along Lower Parade Street at about 9:30 p.m. when citizens stumbled upon 44-year-old Noel Nelson, a laborer of Water Lane in the parish, lying in a pool of blood, and alerted the police. On their arrival, Nelson was seen with stab wounds to his upper body and was assisted to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Landscaper Joel Curry of Masterbury, Trelawney, was stabbed to death in Water Square in the second incident at about 11:15 p.m. Curry was at his fruit stall when an argument developed between him and the man. The man left and returned with a knife, which was used to stab the now deceased to his chest. Curry was assisted to hospital where he died while undergoing treatment. A suspect has been taken into custody. However, his identity is being withheld pending further investigation.
You are listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news, sports, and the weather. Also on nrpmediaja.com, NRP Media JA on YouTube and Facebook as well. Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Hi, I'm Genevieve.
And I'm Kalisha. And we are the Chryso Praises. You're listening to NRP Media and Radio. Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
And now Leon Nash will be giving you some sporting information. This will be brought to you by Hepburn's Glass, located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 908-0962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass. Quality service is our priority.
It is now 9 minutes going up to the hour of 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for staying with us in the extended version of our evening newscast this evening. We are now on to sports and we kick off on football. James Ward-Prowse's second half penalty spared Calvin Phillips blushes and rescued a Premier League point for West Ham against Bournemouth at London Stadium. Newhammer's signing Phillips had a debut to forget when he passed the ball straight to Dominic Solanke, who put Bournemouth in front inside 3 minutes. But West Ham were gifted a way back into the game into the 61st minute when Lloyd Kelly caught Mohamed Kudus in the penalty area and Ward-Prowse fired his spot kick straight down the middle. Neither side were able to find a winner on a cold night in the capital. The Hammers, without a win in their past 4 games, stay 6th in the Premier League table, while Bournemouth move 12th, 8 points clear of the relegation zone. The napkin on which 13-year-old Lionel Messi's first Barcelona contract was signed is to be auctioned with a starting price of £300,000. The napkin, signed in December 2000, carries a commitment from then Barca director Carlos Rexach to sign Messi. It was also signed by Josep Minguella, a transfer advisor to the Spanish club, and agent Horacio Gagliola, who recommended the Argentine. Messi joined Barca a month later and went on to be their record goal scorer. He made his debut aged 16 and scored 672 goals in 778 games for the Catalan club. Now, at age 36, Messi won 10 La Liga and 4 Champions League titles at Barcelona before leaving for Paris Saint-Germain in 2021. The napkin was signed at a meeting arranged by Rixach, who invited Messi's father, George, to lunch after concerns from the Messi family about a lack of response from Barcelona following the teenager's final trial. And finally, on cricket, up to £5 million of extra yearly funding will be pumped into women's cricket as part of an overhaul of the domestic game. The England and Wales Cricket Board wants 3 tiers in the sport from 2025 onwards. It has now invited applications to run professional sides in a departure from the regional model introduced in 2020. Since then, 8 centrally funded teams have competed, but counties are being offered the chance to bid to take over and rebrand those teams from 2025. As part of the plans, the ECB has pledged to invest £4 million to £5 million per year into the women's professional game between 2025 and 2028, taking its annual investment to £16 million. Under the ECB scheme, the existing 8 regional teams will become a Tier 1 club owned and run by one of the first-class counties, or the MCC, and will compete in T20 and 50 over competitions. The 18 counties and the MCC have until March to submit their bids, with unsuccessful applicants and national counties then invited to fill semi-professional and amateur slots in tiers 2 and 3, a process expected to be complete by September ahead of the launch in 2025. All 3 tiers will be closed with no promotion or relegation throughout the initial 4-season term. The ECB says it wants to grow the depth and reach of the women's professional game. That's sports in our NRP Evening News Roundup, brought to you by Hepburn's Glass. They are located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston, Jamaica.
We promise to bring you a good news story as often as we can. If you know of or are aware of any event or person whose good story we should highlight, please send this information to our email address at nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com or call or WhatsApp 876-336-9928. That's the local news and sports. Stand by now for the latest international news, courtesy of the Voice of America.
This is VOA News. I'm Alexis Strope. President Joe Biden has issued an executive order that targets Israeli settlers in the West Bank who've been accused of attacking Palestinians and Israeli peace activists in the occupied territory. VOA's Rick Pantaleo has more.
The president's executive order Thursday imposes financial sanctions and visa bans in an initial round against 4 individuals. At a news conference in October 2023, President Biden said Israeli settler attacks on Palestinians in the West Bank needed to end.
Pouring gasoline on fire is what it's like. This was a deal. The deal was made, and they're attacking Palestinians in places that they're entitled to be. It has to stop. They have to be held accountable.
The order says those settlers were involved in acts of violence, as well as threats and attempts to destroy or seize Palestinian property. Rick Pantaleo, VOA News.
European Union leaders meeting in Brussels Thursday agreed unanimously Thursday on a $54 billion support package for Ukraine. The agreement came just an hour into the EU summit in Brussels, with Hungary surprisingly voting to support it after vetoing virtually the same package in December and recently threatening to do so again. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen told reporters it was a special day in Europe.
The European Council reconfirmed Europe's unwavering commitment to stand with Ukraine. We all know that Ukraine is fighting for us, so we will support them with the necessary funding and provide them with the much-needed predictability they deserve.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed his gratitude for the unanimous vote in a virtual address. The EU Council Thursday, Zelensky said the package comes at a good time as Russia's war efforts in Ukraine are being bolstered by artillery shells and ballistic missiles from North Korea. This is VOA News.
That was the latest international news, courtesy of the Voice of America. And now for the weather report and forecast.
In fact, we're going to take a little break right here now and come right back to give you the weather We're going to make way for the time signal coming up in just a matter of seconds.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock...
Says, don't get angry. Don't be upset. It only leads to trouble. This is NRP Media and Radio. The time is 7 o'clock. All right, we thank you so much. It's now 7 o'clock. We're going to go back now to bring you the weather coming up right after this.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 908-0962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass. Quality service is our priority.
The time is now 7:01. We move right now to the weather report and forecast with Kimberly Ashley. Kimberly?
Good evening. The National Met Service is reporting that there is a significant feature of a trough across Jamaica. This trough is expected to remain across the island until Sunday afternoon. A prefrontal trough and a low-level jet stream are then expected to move into the vicinity of Jamaica by Sunday evening. Now for our 24-hour forecast. Tonight and tomorrow, expected to be partly to mostly cloudy. Now for our 3-day forecast. On Saturday, expected to be partly to mostly cloudy in the day. On Sunday, expect partly cloudy conditions in the day, but it will become mostly cloudy in the evening. It will be windy in the evening and night across western parishes and hilly areas. On Monday, expect it to be cloudy and windy. Expect periods of showers and isolated thunderstorms across the island. In other current regional weather features, there is a cold front across the Bahamas. There is a ridge across the Gulf of Mexico. The minimum temperature expected for Kingston tonight is 23 degrees Celsius, and the minimum temperature expected from Montego Bay tonight is 21 degrees Celsius. That is the latest weather report and forecast in the NRP Evening News Roundup. I am Kimberly Ashley. Have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you for that, Kimberly. And we have come to the end of our news presentation this evening. But before we go, here are the headlines once again. Jamaicans to go to the polls on February 26th for the staging of the long-awaited local government election.
Nomination day is February the 8th, and the day we continue with the Jamaica Labour Party in control is February the 26th is election day.
The PNP expresses confidence of winning the party ahead in the polls. House of Representatives approves the fourth supplementary estimates for the fiscal year 2023-2024. Commuters who use a smarter card to pay their fares on the state-owned Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC buses, will benefit from a 50% reduction in fares effective April 1. Police constable dies after being hit while on duty on the North-South Highway in St. Anne and Deansport. Up to £5 million of extra yearly funding to be pumped into women's cricket as part of an overhaul of the domestic game.
The full half an hour and we should say extended version of the news this evening came to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations whatsoever. Keep it locked right here on NRP Radio and NRP Media JA on YouTube and Facebook Live while we produce and present our newscast. Let's hear from our the station in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Genevieve.
And I'm Kalisha. And we are the Christo Praises. You're listening to NRP Media and Radio. Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
NRP Media and Radio.
The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Here is your invitation to join us again tomorrow morning at 6:30 for the NRP Break of Day newscast. On behalf of the entire news and production teams, I am Luann Bramwell Shakes.
And I am Leon Nash.
For the NRP Evening News, we encourage you to join this growing medium. Feel fulfilled and informed. Have a good rest of your evening. Reminding you too that if you walk, ride, or drive, make every effort to arrive alive. Have a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
NRP Media and Radio.
The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations. All right, we want to thank you so much. And for those of you who joined us in the news this evening, please remember we anticipate and we look forward to your comments about the newscast. And your feedback is very, 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 very important to us. So once again, tomorrow morning at 6:30, God's willing, we'll have for you the Break of Day newscast at 6:30 tomorrow morning. And then at 6:30 tomorrow evening, God's willing as well. Stay with us right here on the platform. We continue now and go back to normal programming on this station. Once again, we say thanks to Luan Bramwell Shakes for joining us this evening and all those who contributed in one way or the other in making the package what it has been this evening. We want to say thanks to you and have yourself a great evening as you continue to listen 24 hours per day. This evening being Thursday, I do believe that we should be having Chris Wilby joining us at 6 sometime during the course of the evening. I think it's around 8 o'clock, and we will continue with music and features throughout the evening. So right now we go back to touching base with some of our promos and music right here on the platform. Blessings to you. It's now 8 minutes after 7 o'clock.
Radio listener, brother